Okay, so this gets a little tricky at this point um, because you are unable to save this file to the H drive. You don't have write access to it, so you have to save it to your own drive. So click on the Browse icon and click on the Connect to Folder icon and expand the Libraries option and the Documents options and click on My Documents and click on ArcGIS, and at that point click OK. Then from the drop-down menu you will see this listed as one of your drive options, VSL files.csun, and then your logon plus My Documents ArcGIS. Click on that and then click in Default Geodatabase, double click that, and then you can call this file Pollution Sample Points. Click Save, click OK, and click Yes. The new points will appear. You see them overlaying the ADME events. Right-click on the ADME events folder and click Remove. And now we have a new layer on our map. The little dots are kind of hard to see, so we're going to fix that. Right-click on Pollution Sample Points. From the drop-down menu, select Properties. When the Property window opens, click on the Symbology tab. Select Quantities from the list of options, and from the sub-options under Quantities, select Graduated Symbols. And what we're going to do is make these points bigger if they had more pollution deposits, and small if they had few pollution deposits. So the value that you will select from the Fields window is deposition rate. In this case it's DEP underscore rate, and automatically it will choose to map it by natural breaks. We may want to change the template to something easier to see, like something neon green here, and then click OK and click Apply and click OK. So now I'm going to turn off the fishnet labels, and I'm actually going to turn off the campus fishnet itself, and what you see are large dots that represent collection points that had lots of pollution, and some small dots like this one here appearing on top of the library. These are just sample points, not real ones, that are smaller, indicating less pollution. So we're almost finished making our map. This one's interesting in its own right, but what we can't understand is, for example, how much pollution might be at this spot here on campus, because we have no nearby sampling points. So what we're going to do is to create a map that estimates the pollution at the places intermediate to the, or in between the places where we do have samples. In order to do that, we have to build an interpolated map. So click on Customize. From the drop-down menu, click Extensions. Make sure that the Spatial Analyst tool is turned on, that checkbox is marked. Then you can click Close. Then click on the Arc Toolbox and expand the Spatial Analyst tools by clicking on the plus sign. Expand the Interpolation tools by clicking on the plus sign to the left of the word interpolation, and click on IDW twice, double click, to open the IDW toolbox. Input point features that we are going to use are the pollution sample points. So click on the drop down and select it. The Z value field is our deposition rate that we just mapped. Where are you going to save the output raster? Not on the H drive, because that is read-only for you. You will click on the file here and save it in. It should remember that you're in the default geodatabase. Again, that is here under My Documents, ArcGIS, on your virtual drive. Double click on the default geodatabase, and we're going to call this pollution IDW raster. Click Save, and at this point we don't have to worry about any of the other options. Just click OK, and a new map will begin to appear. Note down here in the lower right hand corner that it was telling you that it worked. I get a little check mark that's green next to the IDW and a hammer to show that it worked correctly. And now what I have is an interpolation map of my data points. And so you can see that this data point had a lot of pollution down here, and this one not so much. And we can now estimate the pollution in the spaces intermediate between the two places. A lot less pollution over here in these spots, and a lot more pollution on the eastern side of campus. So your job will be to turn on the campus building map, and at this point answer some questions online. Say, for example, what is the pollution rate between the education building and Bayramian Hall? Might be a good question for you. To answer that question, click on the Identify button or tool and move your cursor into the space between Education Hall and Bayramian Hall. Click once, and we will see that the value of the pixel there is 9.49, and that would be the answer to the pollution deposition rate. It's an estimate between Education and Bayramian Hall. Hopefully you won't click on here, which is 8.5, but here. That should conclude this series of tutorials for the pollution lab. Make sure that you click File and Save before you exit. File, Save As, and save it again in your library under Documents, ArcGIS, and you can call it Pollution Map and your name, Joe. All right, that's it.